So I have to say I'm a little tired of the atheism versus theism culture war, or the science versus religion culture war. But nonetheless, I can't seem to escape it. It's a certain space for thinking, a topic, right, that has opened up at our particular historical moment. And even if I do feel kind of tired of rehearsing um, the arguments and working my way through this dispute, nonetheless, it's where we are right now. So I'm going to say some things about it. I have called myself an atheist in the past. There are plenty of videos where I willingly adopt the title. I've made other videos where I seem to adopt a more Christian posture. So I've kind of traveled the whole spectrum here in this debate, and you could say that that's because I'm a sloppy thinker, or at least a protean thinker who's never sure what he really believes. But on the other hand, I approach philosophy as an experimental practice. So if I discover that I'm wrong about something, and that I had been holding opinions that don't hold up to the further scrutiny of my own thought and of the thought of the other thinkers I choose to read and listen to and conversate with, if I discover that I was mistaken, or that there's a better story to be told, then I'm not going to hesitate to change my story. But even when I did call myself an atheist, it was not to say that I didn't hold in reserve the possibility of speculating about the universe and about the human soul in a non-materialistic or mechanized or scientistic way. So for me, atheism never meant being a scientific materialist. The two were not necessarily linked, mostly because in those early days here on YouTube, when I was calling myself an atheist more often, it was while I was under the influence of people like Alan Watts and D.T. Suzuki, and really this Americanized Buddhist mysticism that allowed me to both be a mystic and an atheist, that is, an atheist of particular personifications or anthropomorphic gods, which have been invented at various times throughout the course of human history. I was choosing not to believe in those, but to believe in some higher power that did not have a human face, that didn't seem to behave like a human tyrant, but that behaved in a far stranger way. There's the idea of the Platonic one, beyond being, so the one beyond God, or gods, you could say. And in Plato's thought, it isn't even so much that gods aren't real, it's that they're subsidiaries of the one Godhead, that they sort of stand in between more earthly creations and the transcendent creator itself, namely the one. And they mediate the one's creative activity. They allow the one to become many. They provide a sort of mediating or intermediary channel through which that process of the one becoming many and the many being increased by one, it provides a way for that process, that creative process, to unfold. So Plato is a kind of a polytheistic thinker at the same time that he is a thinker of the one. Um, his approach is a kind of monadology that, as it was later articulated by Leibniz, a early modern Platonist. But nowadays, I don't call myself an atheist very often. I call myself not a monadologist either, but I guess the terms I'm comfortable with are a panentheist or a process cosmo-theologian or anthropo-cosmo-theologian. I'm really quite taken by this Trinitarian symbol, which has been called the cosmotheandric principle by the philosopher and mystic and teacher Raymond Panikar. The cosmotheandric principle, or the cosmotheandric mystery, is that mutual indwelling of cosmos, human, and God, or universe, human being, and divinity. He sees the three as dwelling within one another, co-creating one another, so that there's a continual trilogue here, and never a monological, ex nihilo creation by an omnipotent creator. If I were to call myself a theist, it would be because I would not be professing belief in a transcendent, omnipotent God who created the universe from nothing. I would be professing belief in a God who is involved with the world, more like the world's soul than its transcendent designer, more like the poet of the world than the architect or engineer of it, because though I may be a theist, my cosmology, my natural theology, you could say, is, it's been influenced a lot by Alfred North Whitehead, for one, for whom the universe is the sensitive body of God, the ensouled body of God. The universe isn't simply a machine designed by an external creator. The universe is internal to the Whiteheadian God. It is a God of this world, rather than a God beyond it. So this is where Whitehead's Platonism is, in a sense, reformed. It's secularized, you might say. It's further incarnated, and it dwells in the world rather than being external to it, and the world being superfluous to its being beyond being, or whatever. So that's a tangled riff for you on why I am some days an atheist and others a theist, and really overall more like a panentheist, as I said. I'll reluctantly pigeonhole myself into that particular conceptual network there. But, yeah.